So I am absolutely convinced that I am living in the Matrix, that this is one big fake world. I'm plugged in to a bunch of hoses and I'm in this little basket of liquid and somebody's gonna ask me to take the red or the blue pill. I'm absolutely convinced of that. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Let's jump in the car and talk about the Shakedown. Oh my God, the irony of the name. This is too perfect not to make a video today on. Let's get in the car. But let's start up. Wow. Oh, we've got so little time to enjoy these gas cars, these ICE engines. Let's enjoy one of the last cold starts, because Lord knows we can't get that with the Banshee. And ain't that beautiful? Just killing the environment. Bad, 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 bad boy. Killing the environment. Whew.
That the state of California will ban the sale of new gasoline-powered cars. It is going to be phased in over a series of years, but technically the clock starts tomorrow.
How do they phase it in? So
well, what they're going to say to the car makers is, by the year 2026, so that's about 3.5 years from now, you have to have 35% of your new cars on the lot for sale to Californians. They have to be electric.
And what if
people have zero emissions?
What if people don't buy them?
That's not the state's fault. They don't care.
Well, so it's just
have to have them
a mandate to have them.
So that means 65% of your inventory can be gas powered, but 35% must be zero emissions.
Well, that doesn't.
And there'll be a guy walking around with a clipboard checking.
But that doesn't change anything if people don't buy them.
All right, so let's talk about this. I heard about the new Shakedown today, and I was not going to make a video because I'm spent from the last 4 or 5 videos I made hurling boulders at Dodge, and I had a wonderful, wonderful hour-long phone conversation with my good friend Racer X the other night, and I got to tell you, he is a tremendous, tremendous brain. I appreciated so much all that he shared with me, just voice to voice on the phone, about what's taken place at Dodge and what he heard from the executives. And he really did help me realize that I need to just lighten up, slow down a little bit, and be a little open-minded, because the future is here and there's a lot of new things coming that are frankly inevitable. And when I hung up with him, I sat there and I said, you know what, I'm gonna be a little bit more respectful to Dodge. I'm gonna be more open-minded. These 7 special cars that they're rolling out, these special edition cars that they're going to be rolling out. Today was the first one. The last one will be, I think, at the beginning of November at SEMA. Are probably going to make up for last week. And then I heard what they did, and I just thought I need to throw my camera out the window, because if I do another video, you guys are going to beat me up. But maybe you'll agree with me on this one. But the first thing I got to say is, how do you not make a video when they call the first one the Shakedown? You know what a shakedown is, right? I mean, that's like an old school Chicago, mob term. I mean, I'm shaking you down for money. You all have heard that. So they named the first car a Shakedown, and then they announced there's only going to be 500 in Destroyer Gray in the regular body, and then 500 in black in the wide body, and you can't order them. They told us that originally. Can't order them. You've got to go to specific dealerships to get them, which means there's only going to be 500 in the wide body. So if you want a wide body, I just got to imagine these dealerships are going to charge through the nose. And if I'm wrong, I will do a video and apologize and say, look, I messed up. I was a little bit tough on Dodge. They rolled them out to dealerships that don't do markup. I hope I get to say that. I hope I get to say that because you all deserve to have first shot at buying one of those cars at MSRP. Now, we already can assume, I have no factual knowledge on this, so we just have to assume and speculate that based on Dodge's continual increase in prices year over year on these cars, that a special edition car, pretty well appointed with lots of options, is going to be a very high price. Already, the regular one, that you'll be able to order regular Scat Pack is going to be a higher price. Don't know how much. Maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's $2,000, maybe it's $3,000, maybe it's $5,000. I don't know, but we can assume based on the past that they're going to raise the prices on all of these cars for 2023, especially being the last year. So when you go in to order your car, you're gonna see that the price is higher than it was for 2022. So we know that. So let's assume I paid $60,000 for this thing. It was like $61,000. I got them to come down a little bit and do me right. So it's like $60,000. And this has got the Harman Kardon, the sunroof, and you know, these nice seats and stuff. So that was $60,000, 2022. I would imagine this same car, MSRP is probably going to be close to $63,000, $64,000. Now let's talk about a shaker. Let's talk about a 2023. Let's talk about a special edition. And let's talk about with more options than this thing has. And I would bet anything we're going to be looking at $65,000 to $67,000 for the sticker price. I hope I'm wrong, but when I was back in the Midwest, I found a beautiful blue shaker Scat Pack Challenger that was priced at $65,000, and then they had discounts down to around $60,000, same as this thing. When I called him up, he says, "Oh, you don't qualify for any of those discounts, so sorry, you have to pay $65,000." So if that was a 2022 shaker, with well optioned at $65,000, you gotta think they're gonna be at $67,000. But remember, it's a special edition car last year, and there's only gonna be 500 of them. So if they price them a little bit higher than a regular shaker Challenger, it's gotta be reaching close to $70,000. I hope I'm wrong, but here's what I believe. If this happens the way they're saying it's going to happen, meaning there's only 500, you cannot order these special edition cars, then we can assume that dealers who get these things are going to have all of us clamoring to buy. I would buy one. I would buy one at MSRP, clamoring to buy one of those things. So when you have lots of people wanting very few of something, that very few of something goes way up in price. We learned that in elementary school. It's called supply and demand. And they're intentionally limiting the amount of these special edition cars. So if you want a wide body, there's only 500 of them. And it's going to be through specific dealerships. And you cannot order them. So you've got to wiggle your way in there somehow and get a hold of one of those cars. And I would assume any dealership who has any desire to stay in business and make lots of money are going to want to jack those prices up and figure out whoever the highest bidder is will buy that car. Again, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope somebody said, well, the reason they're sending them to these dealerships is these dealerships traditionally don't charge markups. I'll believe it when I see it. When we see Corvette dealerships charging, you may have seen all the videos about this thing, $90,000, $100,000, $50,000 for Corvette orders with non-refundable deposits, I don't put it past any dealership out there to take advantage of the last year, especially when, the way it looks right now, the only thing they're going to have on their lot to sell are Hornets, lower-end, entry-level cars, the only cars they're going to have. Now, my thought, my hope, was that they would roll out something, one of these special edition cars, maybe they still will, that were really special. It looks like this one is basically a sticker and a badge package. For the most part, nothing spectacular. I can go to my local wrap shop and wrap my Challenger shaker to be almost exactly the same. I'll read to you all the options here, and I'll put them on the screen. So, the 2023 Dodge Challenger Shakedown features the legendary cold air grabbing Mopar shaker hood, Mopar shaker intake, shaker underhood decal, red 392 fender graphics, shakedown spoiler graphic, shakedown stripe with red accent, black Challenger grill badge with unique RT grill badge, 20 by 9.5 inch low gloss black slingshot wheels, 20 inch by 11 inch carbon black warp speed wheels for the wide body, red 6-piston Brembo brakes, shakedown instrument panel badge, premium black Napa Alcantara seats with red stitching, red interior accent stitching, steering wheel, seats, and demonic red seatbelts. That's the package on the Shakedown. Now imagine that this price, I'm going to go ahead and pick a number out of thin air. I'm going to bet that this thing's going to find its way to dealerships and be scaring $100,000. Maybe I'm wrong, but if it is, you know, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. But let's just say there's a $10,000 or $15,000 markup on that thing, and they're scaring $70,000. We're going to be looking at $80,000, $85,000. I'll tell you right now, around the corner from my house, there's a base model Scat Pack for $77,000. And the sticker, and it was base. I mean, you know, cloth seats, base, no Harman Kardon, no sunroof, nothing. $77,000. So how is it that we could even think for 1 second that this car won't be scaring 85, 90, maybe even $100,000 since there's only 500 of those? Think about what happened with the Demon. Think about what happened with the Durango Hellcat. The prices went through the ceiling. We were looking at $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 for the Durango Hellcat. The Demons were $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. They were insane prices. And what I believe is going to happen here is people are going to get really excited and want to just grab those small number cars in hopes that those are investments. The problem is remember, I'll tell you all this, and I hope I can talk people out of paying any markups, is when there's a huge markup, that markup is basically the appreciation you would see. They're taking it all up front, meaning they're taking it away from you. So if that car is $67,000 and you pay a $20,000 markup, and that car does appreciate in value, it's appreciating from MSRP and maybe reaches the price that you paid. At best, and only if you're right about that car ultimately being as special as you believe it is. And in the end, the Demons are like $110,000 now. And there are people out there that paid $200,000 still sitting on them. They'll be waiting for decades before that car reaches that price range. I do believe there's a chance that all of these cars have a lull in prices before they start to come back with all the ridiculousness about the people wanting these gas cars. And depending on, I'm not talking politics, but what happens in our political system, gas prices could be jammed way up. We can end up being forced into a situation where driving these cars makes very little sense. And if that happens, that may affect these prices. If we end up in a deeper recession, that may affect these prices. Remember, it all comes down to supply and demand. And I talk about this at work all the time. If there's too much of something and not enough people who want it, the price goes down. If there's not enough of something and too many people who want it, the price goes up. So in this situation, yeah, there's a chance the price goes up. But if you pay that markup, you will be paying ahead for the appreciation that you actually receive, meaning you won't get your money back potentially in a decade, because you will have bought up front the decade's worth of appreciation and allowing the dealership to take that appreciation right up front and stick you with a car that you're maybe even in down the road. Now, I hope I'm wrong, and I'm doing this video hoping that Tim Kuniskis and that the people at Dodge see it and just address the markups. Just put out a press release and say, look, there won't be markups on these cars. Say it. That's all I want them to say. And I'll stop making these videos where I'm banging on my chest about this issue. Otherwise, we have to assume that they know what's going to happen and they're good with what's going to happen. And the prices are going to get so radically inflated on all of these cars that you're going to be spending $100,000 on a Scat Pack. And if that happens, whoever does that, I'm telling you, you know, I don't remember which pill, but give me the red pill. Give me the pill that keeps me asleep in Fantasyland, because I don't want to be in that world where somebody is that crazy that drops 100 G's on one of these cars. With that said, someone will say something in the comments about, but you know what? You know what, OC Motivator? It's going to be worth it, because there's only going to be 500 of those things. They're going to be trading on the market for $300,000. Man, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, they're not, that are older cars, they're not trading for those kinds of dollars in many cases. So, and they're really limited. So let's let's stay on Earth, everybody. This is a American mass-produced car, and the Shakedown, it's a stickered up mass-produced car. To spend that much more money on it would be, in my opinion, an utter shakedown. I came up with some names for the other cars. Maybe they can use some creativity from me. I wrote them down here earlier. I thought, since the first one's Shakedown, which turns out it probably will be a shakedown financially for many of us, how about the Dodge Charger Fleece Edition, where they fleece you. They fleece you out of your money. How about the Dodge Challenger Bum Rush? They bum rush you out of all your cash. How about the, ooh, this one could be good, the Money Grabber. And instead of it being the Air Grabber, they can put the Money Grabber stickers on it because you paid $150,000 for a red eye. How about the Pocket Picker? How about the Dodge Pocket Picker? How about the Cash Burner? And they can put the stickers on there because you're going to go in there and burn $20,000, $30,000 of markups on this thing. Or the Bank Buster. Look, I'm sorry, forgive me for being a little frustrated with this, but I believe we all supported Dodge for so many years, and we loved them because they were entry-level, pretty affordable cars. If you just stretched a little bit, pretty much anybody can get themselves into one. If they sacrifice in other places, they can get themselves a Scat Pack or an RT. That's what I loved about it. I abandoned Mercedes, I abandoned BMW, I abandoned all the high-end snooty cars to come into this world, to be around real people who just love these cars and aren't arrogant and full of themselves, and we just hang out and enjoy each other's company and talk about these beautiful, amazing cars. And the most any of us are into them is maybe 80, 90,000 bucks for Hellcat. I love that group. As of today, I told Racer X this the other night, I did the math. In the last, I think, 4 years, I have spent just over $500,000 on Dodge Chargers and Dodge Challengers. Yes, that's because I've gone through so many of these things. The stickers, the prices on all these cars added together is over $500,000. So Dodge, as a loyal customer, one that believes in your product, loves these cars, maybe I should say Stellantis, come on, man, get out and put a stop to the markups. Do not let them do that, especially to those special cars. Make sure those fall in the hands of people that can just reach them, that get their hands on them and could enjoy the appreciation of those cars over the years, rather than collectors and speculators and investors with big bags of cash buying these cars with huge markups and then sitting on them and not letting people go out and enjoy them. I want to see a shakedown. I don't want to get shaken down. I want to see a shakedown out on the road with some 25-year-old kid who just busted his rear at his job, saved up all his money, and put his down payment and got his first Dodge, or traded up his RT and got that shakedown. Forgive me, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see some old clown like me who has worked for 30 years, saved up a bunch of money, and can go in there and drop 20, 30, and wipe you out of being able to get that car. I won't do it. You all know I can do it. I can do it, no problem. I could stroke that check and not miss a beat or a breath. I won't do it under any circumstances, and neither should you. I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe, comment, beat me up in the comments, and stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
My point is, people aren't going to do that. They're not going to pay the price for the electric cars. They're too expensive.
Well, they're expecting all these things are going to come down in price and charging stations will be everywhere.
No.
Like, well, gas stations had to start somewhere.
But I don't listen to that. I say, how...
No, but you have your fingers in your ears.
No, because that's just words, just rah-rah.